National Assembly passes 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan takes oath of office as senator. Civil society raised concern over new resident electoral commissioners. On the foreign scene, 195 killed, 120 missing in strikes on Jabalia. These are the headlines on Trust TV News Update at this hour. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. The Senate and House of Representatives on Thursday passed the 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary appropriation bill after third reading. Before the passage of the bill, the Senate adopted the report of the harmonized sittings of both red and green chambers on the 2023 supplementary appropriation bill as submitted by Chairman of the Appropriations Committee, Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adiola.
There's no government that will come in without rearranging the budgetary structure, the Appropriation Act, so that it gets tailored in line with its own policy and program. So it's not something new.
This budget will not be funded from loans. We will not be borrowing to fund this budget. And that, for me, and I believe a number of us, is a very critical issue.
Addressing the issues of the inflation and the suffering of labor people, in other words, the workers, the working population, and even to think of even the students as well, outside just road infrastructure.
Meanwhile, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has been sworn in as Senator for Kogi Central Senatorial District. This followed her presentation with certificate of return by the Independent National Electoral Commission as the duly elected senator for Kogi Central. Akpoti-Uduaghan, who is elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, becomes the first female senator from Kogi State. Earlier on Tuesday, the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, upheld Akpoti-Uduaghan as the duly elected candidate in the Kogi Central Senatorial election held earlier in February. The court dismissed the appeal filed by Abubakar Ohere of the All Progressives Congress for lacking in merit. Now, Yaga Africa, a non-profit organization, has faulted the nomination and confirmation of the Nigerian Senate of some of the new resident electoral commissioners for being politically partisan. The executive director of Yaga Africa, Samson Itodo, says that the development will undermine the electoral process and principles of neutrality by the electoral umpire. Itodo says that appointing partisan individuals as resident electoral commissioners shows a lack of commitment to free, fair, credible and transparent elections. He argued that some of the nominees confirmed by the Senate are partisan, adding that they did not meet the constitutional test of non-partisanship while citing Section 156 as well as paragraph 14 of the third schedule. Now, Itodo says that if Nigeria elections are to develop in quality, it must be seen to be conducted without biases from the electoral umpire. A Rivers State High Court sitting in Ishopo on Wednesday issued an interim order restraining the Rivers State House of Assembly from proceeding with the planned impeachment of Governor Sim Fubara. The court restrained the Speaker of the House, Martin Amehule, Deputy Speaker Dumle Mao, the Clerk of the House and State Chief Judge, Justice Simeon Chibuzo Amadi. Now, Justice O. Ben White issued the restraining order after Fubara's lawyer, Damian Okoro, argued before him on an ex parte application. The judge, in his ruling, ordered that parties in the case maintain the status quo pending the application of the motion and notice. The case has been adjourned to 14th of November 2023 for the argument of the motion and notice. House of Representatives investigating the expenditure of 100 billion naira COVID-19 funds has issued an ultimatum to the Accountant General of the Federation to submit detailed report on the utilization of the funds released by the Buhari administration to ministries, departments and agencies between 2020 and 2022. Chairman House Committee on Public Accounts Bamidele Salami issued the notice in Abuja while expressing dismay at the Accountant General of the Federation's non-compliance with the resolution of the committee to submit the report on October 27, 2023. While issuing the ultimatum, Representative Salami explains that the House had mandated the committee to investigate the expenditure incurred under the COVID-19 interventions. Now, the Public Accounts Committee had sent a letter to the Accountant General asking for details of all releases pursuant to the provisions of the Appropriation Act. Still from the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives is set to probe the 800 billion naira expenditure by the Nigerian Population Commission for the conduct of the 2023 Population and Housing Census. This was sequel to the adoption of a motion moved by Aguta Federal Constituency Representative Dominic Okafor. The motion sought to investigate the expenditure on the postponed 2023 Population and Housing Census by the National Population Commission and conduct of the National Population Housing Census. The National Census, which was last conducted in 2016, was slated for May 3rd to 7th, 2023, but was postponed indefinitely by the Buhari administration. The Independent National Electoral Commission has disclosed that 40 polling units in Imo and Bayelsa states are without registered voters. This is as the governorship election in both states as well as Kogi State, scheduled for November 11, is fast approaching. According to a statement by the INEC National Commissioner and Chairman for Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumeku, 2 of the polling units are from Bayelsa State, while 38 are from Imo State. The Commission also published collected and uncollected permanent voters' cards on polling units basis in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi States. Now, commanders of peacekeeping task force in Yache, Ijeogu community across River State have arrested suspects in connection with the killing of a soldier during last weekend's communal clash between Yache and thieves from Benue State. That attack reportedly claimed 20 lives from both sides and a number of houses set ablaze. Reports indicate that some of the arrested suspects include those receiving treatment for gunshot injuries in the hospital. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, has ordered the discontinuation of night sting operations across all EFCC commands. Olukoyede gave the directive in Abuja on Wednesday in reaction to the arrest of 69 suspected internet fraudsters in Ile-Ife, Osun State, by operatives of the Ibadan Zonal Command of the EFCC. The spokesperson for the anti-graft agency, Dele Oyewole, made the announcement in a statement. Now, according to the EFCC, many of the suspects duly profiled by the command have been released, while profiling of suspects yet unreleased will be completed without further delay. Now, dates are popular fruits, especially in northern Nigeria, with a huge demand all year round. The recent shortages being experienced by the marketers of the commodity is causing major disruption due to supply shortfall occasioned by the Nigeria-Niger border closure. This development is negatively impacting the businesses of marketers in Babaldu of Birnin Kudu local government area of Jigawa State, as Adamu Imam reports.
Babaldo is a popular destination for dates of different varieties along Bauchi and Jigawa State. Selling dates has become the main occupation of most people in the area. The fruit is popular for its taste, nutritional, medicinal, and religious value, making it a higher marketable commodity. Over the years, dealers of the commodity like Alhaji Adamu make bank selling dates, but now the tides have changed and the market is gradually shrinking. If the border remains closed, people will continue to suffer. This dates business, I testify that the whole of Nigeria, there is no place like Babaldo and Shuarin in Jigawa. We all import them from Niger. Now you can see there are no different types of dates, unlike before. Look, our tables are empty. There are just few dates. It wasn't like this before. People come from Lagos to patronize us here. As the economic principle states, the higher the demand, the higher the price, especially when there is a shortage in supply, and marketers are now lamenting the unusual disruption which has been linked to the closure of the borders between Nigeria and Niger Republic. I was told that no place like Babaldo in regards to the dates business. I travel all the way from far distance to buy dates, but the price has changed drastically. Last year we bought at 2,100 naira only, but now it's around 4,000 naira. We expect to gain, and dates business is flourishing. We still manage to make sales at the end, but honestly, not like before. We used to buy a major at 700 naira before, but now it is close to 5,000 naira. I don't know what is happening. They should open our borders. If the borders were open again, the economic direction of this country will change for the better. Since the military took over in Niger, poor people have been feeling the heat. Government should wake up and do something. For these marketers, the economic sanctions imposed by ECOWAS are suffocating their businesses as they call of the government to rethink the cost of the embargo. For now, they can only hope that things will get better in the future as they struggle to put food on the table. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we'll tell you why Nigerians are lamenting the difficulty in NIN registration. Details and more shortly.
Are you interested in the latest news and developments in Nigerian politics, policy, governance and other critical national issues? Look no further than Daily Politics on Trust TV. Our panel of experts and key people in government provide in-depth analysis and commentary on the biggest stories in Nigerian politics.
And 33.3 million Nigerians are suffering from multidimensional poverty.
It's a much calmer Buhari than the Buhari who was in the khaki uniform.
Naira to Naira X rate is higher anywhere in the world. The Naira is higher than dollar exchange rate. So you want to...
Since central bank governor you're doing, you must do it fast.
Number of casualties we have had, we shouldn't have had. Security as far as Nigeria is concerned, we have wronged.
From the inner workings of government to the latest on legislation, rule of law, implementation and democracy, we have you covered. Don't miss out on the latest political news and discussion. Tune in to Daily Politics, weekdays on Trust TV, your source for reliable and unbiased coverage of Nigerian politics.
That's great.
Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories. National Assembly passes 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Natasha Akpoti-Oduoga takes oath of office as senator. Now, a cross-section of cocoa farmers in Ondo State at Olua Forest Reserve in Odigbo local government area have called on the police to provide adequate security to forestall hoodlums' attacks on cocoa farms. The farmers say that the attacks on cocoa farmers are linked to the State High Court judgment restraining the state government and other defendants from access to their farmlands. According to the farmers, an agro-allied company had laid claim to the cocoa farmlands from a lease by the state government, which led to the court injunction nullifying the lease in support of the farmers. The attacks, according to the farmers, are being motivated to undermine their activities on the farmlands, leading to their request for police protection. Now, despite the federal government's commitment to fast-tracking a seamless process for acquiring national identification number, applicants wait in agony due to operational challenges. The NIN has become central to documentation processes in Nigeria, with various applications requiring citizens to provide the number for data management. So why are these technical challenges persisting? Trust TV News finds out in this report.
On paper, the process is designed to be seamless and time-effective, but the reality is different. Registering for NIN has become difficult and time-consuming. Despite years of operational experience, the National Identity Management Commission is still struggling to provide a smooth process that guarantees efficiency without the usual hassle. Sharifat Abbas Tayo is an SS3 student who needs her NIN to register for the upcoming WAEC examination. She has so far missed 3 days of school, visiting the Kubwa Center for the registration without much progress.
Since I've been here since last week, it's either they say network or we came late or the people here are rude. And anytime we be here, we come by maybe 6 o'clock to ask us to go 2 o'clock when we didn't even do anything. Network is always the problem and we just don't know what to do.
I've been here since last 2 weeks. Like, the whole situation is just getting tiring and boring. And I need the name for my WAEC and the registration is fast approaching and it's almost ending. So I just think that the government should just try and make things easier for us because it's just frustrating. So some of us have been here since last week, even yesterday, they couldn't even attend to us.
In explaining the challenges responsible for the delay, the commission staff who spoke off camera say the difficulty is related to network challenges linked to the database, which hinders the smooth processes. Other applicants at the Kubwa Center lamented the inability of the commission to overcome the challenges and guarantee a speedy and effective registration.
These 3 days now, I've been staying here since Monday. Every time they will tell me come on early in the morning and write my name. And if I come and write my name, at the end of the day, they will tell you network is not around. So I've listened a lot.
I don't know what to do, and they say the system is down. There's no network. So if it is possible for them to call our international personnel to come and fix this network, so that we can make use of this network. Since our graduates that study networking cannot fix it, they don't call somebody internationally to come and fix this thing. We have been passing through this thing. So people are facing a lot of challenges in the bank, but no way to access their money.
The situation in Abuja is reflective of a national phenomenon where many Nigerians are encumbered by a system that is important to national development but remains unnecessarily tedious. However, if the current repositioning of Nigeria's Interior Ministry under Olubunmi Tunji Ojo is anything to go by, it may not be long before this challenge is surmounted. But for these applicants, the waiting game continues.
Now, on the foreign scene, Gaza officials say that 195 killed, 120 missing in Israel's bombing of Jabalia refugee, which the UN says that may be disproportionate attacks that could amount to war crimes. Now, meanwhile, Turkish-Palestinian Friendship Hospital, Gaza's only medical facility serving cancer patients, have been forced to shut down after running out of fuel. U.S. President Biden has said that U.S. supports humanitarian pause, the first time the U.S. president affirmed the position. The Gaza Borders and Crossings Authority has released a list of 596 foreign and dual nationals who will be allowed to leave through the Rafah crossing on Thursday, after a first group, including 81 critically ill patients, crossed on Wednesday. At least 8,796 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. More than 1,400 people have been killed in Israel. And in sports news, Serbia will hold a snap election next month after President Aleksandar Vučić dissolved parliament in the face of political pressure at home and from the European Union. The parliamentary vote and parallel local elections will be held on December 17, less than 2 years after the victory of the Serbian Progressive Party at the polls. Vučić, who is in his second term as president, faces growing criticism from the political opposition and the greater public over back-to-back shootings in May that killed 18 people. The president and his party, which has led Serbia since 2012, have been accused by protesters of promoting a culture of violence while cracking down on media and electoral freedom. At the time of the protests, several pro-EU parties said that the government had ignored protesters' demands and called for new elections. Novak Djokovic began his bid for a record-extending 7th Paris Masters title with a fluent display in his first singles match in over 6 weeks. Serbia's Djokovic, who had not played since a Davis Cup match on 15th of September, won 6-3, 6-2 against Argentina's Thomas Martin. Now, the 24-time major champion will face Talon Grexpo in the last 16. Having not played a tour-level singles match since lifting the US Open title on 10 September, Djokovic looked sharp throughout against world number 31 Echeverry. Polish second seed Iga Swiatek moved within torching distance of the WTA finals last fall after a confident win over US Open champion Coco Gauff. Now, four-time major champion Swiatek, 22, won 6-0, 7-2, 7-5 in a windy Cancun and has now won both of her group matches. Now, Tunisia's Ons Jabeur beat 7th seed Marketa Vondrousova 6-4, 6-3. Now, Jabeur, who lost to the Czech in this year's Wimbledon final, joins Gauff with 1 win and 1 loss and plays Swiatek in her final group match. The pair last met in the US Open final when Swiatek triumphed. And that's a wrap on the news update. Remember, you can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.